Okay, so let's talk about Hellboy the Crooked Man. So I'm very disappointed in this film. So I was definitely worried about the budget, but the aesthetic they seem to be going for seemed like it would probably be something you could accomplish a little easier with a lower budget. And honestly, seemed like it could be a cool aesthetic for a Hellboy film. But yeah, they did not nail it. So here's the thing. The budget still shows regardless. There's some terrible effects here. There's this really ridiculous like spider thing in the beginning that I was just like, this is really what we're doing. And then Hellboy himself, like there's times where he looks like something out of like a Japanese tokusatsu series. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind tokusatsu. I love Shin Kamen Rider. I love some of like the older Kamen Rider series. But yeah, there's a place for those kinds of effects, and this kind of film is not it. So bad effects. Um, the only actor that ever feels like they really care about what they're doing in this film is Leigh McNamara. Other than that, everybody's giving a very mixed performance throughout this film. Rarely even leaning towards being that good at all, but definitely sometimes being very bad. So bad effects, bad performances, and then wrap all that up with a script that is very uninteresting. And it's crazy because, again, the aesthetic seemed like it could be cool. The story it kind of seemed like they were going to use seemed like it could be cool, but they managed to take those things and handle them in the most uninteresting way possible. Story is very uninteresting. There's like brief moments where it's almost interesting, but the film never quite lets that stick. Another issue and place this movie suffers is it's one of those films where you feel like it's going to end like 5 different times. And I don't really think that's a fair criticism sometimes. But a lot of times, the films that people say that about are films that are like 2.5, 3, maybe even 3.5 hours. So we're talking about longer films. And this film manages to do that with a much shorter runtime. And yeah, like it's crazy. So yeah, honestly, one of the most disappointing films this year for me. I think the only films I have below it in my ranking for the year. And actually, it may be the only film I put below it in my ranking for the year so far is Unfrosted. I was kind of debating between this one and Imaginary. But the thing is I thought Imaginary had a little tiny bit more fun and a little bit more uniqueness to it than this film. Which is crazy, because one of my nitpicks with that film is just how badly it squandered what I think its potential was. But this film manages to be even less entertaining somehow. So, yeah, very disappointed.